Hello everyone, welcome to part 3. Today we will continue exploring the search API. I will show you how to use important parameters like timeout, size, from, and aggregations. Let's start with the timeout parameter. Timeout sets the maximum duration for a query to execute. If the search takes longer than the specified time, ElasticSearch will abort it and return partial results. Next is the size parameter. Size controls how many search results are returned. This is particularly useful when you only need a limited number of documents. Remember that the default value for size is 10, but you can change it, and remember that the maximum value is 10,000. Now let's talk about from. This parameter is used for pagination. It tells Elasticsearch how many documents to skip before starting to return results. Finally, let's talk about aggregations. Aggregations allow you to perform calculations on your data, like finding the average, maximum, or count of a field. That's it. These are the parameters that I wanted to talk about in this video, but remember, there are other parameters that you can find in the documentation. Now, let's go to VS Code to see how to implement them. Open notebook number 14. If you want to get access to these notebooks and all the materials, you will find a link in this video description. It will take you to GitHub, then clone or download the repository and enjoy these notebooks and flow along with me. First of all, we have the documentation. After that, we need to do some preparation. Let's connect to Elasticsearch. After that, I will insert some documents. And here, I will just use this dummy data JSON file. I have added a new one. Let's see how it looks like. So here you can see that we have a message, age, and price. This is just a dummy data just to play with these parameters. I am taking this dummy data file and I am duplicating the data just to get a big number of documents. So here I will be inserting 5,000 documents to my index. You can see, and here we will reuse something that we have seen before, which is the bulk API. Remember that the bulk API allows you to perform a lot of operations in one API call. So here we want to insert documents. So instead of inserting 5,000 documents one at a time, we will use the bulk API to do all of these operations at once. And you will see it will be very fast. Okay, so it took just 0.4 seconds, but if you try to insert one document at a time, that will take a lot of seconds to do. Okay, so that was the preparation. Now let's see how to use both the size and from parameters. Again, to use the search method, first you need to specify the index and then you specify the query. Here we are keeping it simple. We are using the default query, but here you can see that we have size and from. So size will return me just 10 documents, but from will skip the first 10 documents. And here I am returning the documents. You can see that we have seen this in the one of the previous videos. To get the document, you just use the source key inside hits. And here you can see that we have our documents. You can play with these values to see what you get. Now let's see how to use timeout. Timeout, we will not see the effect of timeout, but if you do some very expensive computation, this will become handy. Sometimes the query will take seconds or even minutes to finish. So by default, Elasticsearch will stop that query. But if you want to give Elasticsearch or your query the time needed to fetch the data, then you can specify that number here. So you use timeout and here you specify 10 seconds or minutes. So you can change the time unit. You can find this information in the documentation. Okay, so we are doing the same thing. Here we are searching for any document with search keyword in the message field. And remember here we are using match. So we have seen this before. And we are trying to do textful search in this case. So here, everything went well. We have returned how many values? 5,120, and 10 seconds is more than enough to make or to return these documents. Okay, now let's see aggregations. Aggregations, as I told you, will allow you to make calculations over any field that you have in your documents. You can see that in order to use aggregations, you need to use this keyword, and inside it, for example, here I want to calculate the average age, so I will give it this name. Here you tell Elasticsearch which method to use. If you want to use average, you type in average. If you want to use sum or max or min, you need to put that value here. And here I am telling Elasticsearch which field to use. Here it returns me 31.6. This is the average age that I have in my documents that I inserted to the index. And basically, to get the value, you access the aggregations dictionary. Inside it, you use the same name that you have used here, and you get the value. Finally, if you want, you can combine these parameters together to make a specific query. Okay, so here we are using this. So we are trying to match any document with important keyword in the message field. After that, we are calculating the maximum price. So before we have seen how to calculate the average, now we are using max over the price this time. And here I just want to get 5 documents, and I am skipping the 21st documents. And finally, I have timeout set to 5 seconds. If I run this, you can see that I am getting back 5 documents, and I am getting the maximum price. If you look closely, here we have the maximum price in the returned documents is 180. But if you use aggregations, Elasticsearch will not use these 5 documents. No, Elasticsearch will use all the documents that are present in the index to do the calculations. If you want to, for example, here we are calculating the maximum value. To do that, Elasticsearch will take all those 5,000 documents that we have inserted and will search for the maximum value. I hope this makes sense. So yeah, this is an example that shows you how to combine between all these parameters. We arrived at the end of this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. Before leaving, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.